It's that time again. Yeah. Ya es la hora. You know, power hour. Ponle atención, class is in session. Tune in for an hour, maybe more, that's a blessing. Learn from the captains and the leadership. Flee from religion, cause them churches never teaching shit. Everything you learn for your benefit. Line upon line is a requisite. Never take a deficit, yeah. That mean you take a loss if you stray from the way. You get the understanding if you study every day. Apply what you learn and bless when you pray. There's one interpretation, man, it's say what it say. Ya viene el tiempo, entra para el templo. Aprende del maestro con talento. La Biblia es el centro, usando a Israel como instrumento. No te pierdas en doctrina como viento. Estudia y ora y aplica. Tiempo para Dios, ven, hace una cita. Escritura dinamita, morenos y hispanos israelitas. Oye cómo explica Israel unido en Cristo para la vida. Nunca se divida. Tune in, it's the power hour. Learn your family history, don't be a coward. Yeah. Tune in, it's the power hour. I said learn your family history, don't be a coward.
Yeah, history to learn. It's the power hour. The 11th hour. Tune in to your history. You know it ain't no mystery. Power hour. The 11th hour. You gonna get your history. 11th hour. Power hour.
Shalom, you good? Hey, happy Sabbath to everybody. Happy Power Hour. We got our
Happy Power Hour.
Yes, happy Power, bro. We happy.
Okay.
And this is Power Hour.
Power Hour.
All praise, all praise the Most High. Man, it's Officer Issachar, with us, and we got
Officer Zara.
And our reader,
Soldier David.
Young Buck.
King David.
That's right. He's single.
He's
single. So if you sisters want him, let your leadership know.
Yeah. All praise to the Most High. Hey, today we're gonna talk about Easter.
Wait,
man.
he want Northern Kingdom. He want a Northern Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Hey, this ain't no we ain't taking no callers. We ain't taking no callers right now.
I'm trying to look my brother up. That's a good brother.
Yeah.
All praises.
We're gonna talk about Easter. You know what I mean? Because it's tomorrow, man. That's what they be doing. You know what I mean? I remember back in the world, that was the thing. You know what I mean? They had the C&E go. They call them the C&E guys, right? Christmas and Easter. That's the only time they show up for church. The only time they show up because grandma wants them to go or whatever. You know what I mean? But we're gonna talk about some traditions that they have. Everything to do with Easter is pagan. Everything what they have, but people think it's so holy. They think, Good Friday and all those things. But we're gonna talk about that.
Hey, the name of the title is Black Easter Sunday. I want to preface this. Black Easter Sunday.
I'm telling you, I grew when I started in this faith. The bishop always going into black, right? When he meant black, guess what he said? I'm not excluding you, Latinos.
Yeah, you Latinos,
Native Americans,
y'all are black.
Chicanos, Mexicanos, Latinos, whatever you want to call, because we on the same. But guess what? Judah is the leader. Judah's a trendsetter, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? So all these things that get in tradition and a habit, Judah got to do it first.
Judah, I got y'all back today. We're going to get a Northern Kingdom too.
You know? Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? We wicked as hell too, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but that's why we here. Guess what? To get our minds right, to get our spirits right, and come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You know what I mean? So, give me the tradition. You want to start with the traditions?
Yeah, we can do the first article.
The first article right here. What we got?
You want to do the pagan roots of Easter?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, David, can you read this?
Yes. The pagan roots of Easter.
This is from a History Channel. Go ahead.
Each and every Easter, children across Britain will go in search of eggs hidden around their house and garden by the Easter Bunny. Millions of chocolate eggs will be purchased, gifted, and consumed, whilst hot cross-burnt buns will fly off the shelves of every supermarket. Easter is a Christian festival celebrated across the world, commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. How then have bunnies, buns, and eggs come to be associated with this religious event? The answer lies in pre-Christianity, with many of the themes of Easter rooted in pagan traditions. Easter falls at a time of the year known as the spring equinox, when the length of the nights in the northern hemisphere becomes identical to the length of the days. Spring is a time of renewal and rebirth, as winter begins to fall away with the promise of sunnier, longer days lying ahead. For thousands of years, people from varying cultures have marked and celebrated the equinox and solstice, longest and shortest days of the year.
I want to say, start right there, scroll up a little bit. Right there at the end of the first paragraph says Easter rooted in pagan traditions. So these traditions that we do and stuff. For example, I know I grew up in so-called Southern Baptists. We had a sunrise service. They had celebrated Good Friday. They did the service. They did the Easter eggs and all those things. It was just a tradition of it. And you're not thinking of it because when you're young, guess what? You're getting candies. You got the little plastic ones when you open up. You get all the candies in there. You got all the chocolate that melts and stuff. And then you got your grandma putting $20 bill on one of them. So you searching them like you getting gold. You know what I mean? $20. I mean, I don't know about now. $20 ain't nothing, but $20 in the '90s, that's like $100 today. You said, man, that's money. I came up. You know what I mean? This only comes out every once on your birthday and Christmas, and that's it. So right now, I can come up right here.
Can you get Ecclesiastes 7:7? Ecclesiastes 7:7, please. It's like he was saying, right? A lot of times when we get like those money, right, or chocolate, candy, and all that, it pleases it sears the mind to where like this is a good thing. Like even like with kids, right? They think, oh yeah, I'm ready for Easter or Christmas or whatever holiday it is because of the gifts or whatever. But go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 7. Read out! Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
And the gift destroyeth the heart. The heart is your mind. So it says a gift destroyeth your mind. So that's how you see it right now with our people today. You see the traditions that we're going through, that our people are going through, and not questioning certain things. Like I remember growing up, in the Baptist church, right, and we always had Easter or Christmas or whatever, right. Me growing up, I never knew. I always thought that bunnies had lay eggs. Yep. I literally always thought bunnies lay eggs, and I always thought, grew that even in my teens. I always thought that. So it's just that it destroys your mind, not knowing like the actual truth of what it's like, how life is. That bunnies don't lay eggs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see the mind when it's destroyed, that's why when you grow up and you ask, we on the streets, we ask people about these things, the traditions and what they're doing and stuff. They think it's okay because they say, hey, I had a good time when I was young, so I'm going to introduce it to my children, or I'm going to be for it, or, it's for the kids. That's what they say, you know what I mean? Give me Colossians 2:8, because the scriptures prepare us to guard our mind, to guard our future, but we do not see it, right? We already introduced to Christianity. We already introduced to these pagan traditions, and we think we're supposed to be protecting that, but that has no origin in the Bible, right? Read.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Read out. Beware, lest any man spoil you.
It says only some man, because guess what? You look at your parents, you look at your pastors. You look at your leaders of the community or your high society, Al Sharpens and Cesar Chavez and all these men. And guess what? If they put them in a leadership position and they put them in a chair of being an example, they have to be doing things pagan. Because when you look at leadership, oh man, he's a good speaker. Man, he's a good brother. He's good. He's good. What religion is he? What does he do? Oh, he does this, or he wears this, or his kids do this. Oh, guess what? I guess it's okay for my kids to do it, right? Go ahead, read.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
And not after Christ, meaning the mindset that we should be having is of Christ. Is of Christ. Give me is it what did First Peter? Yeah, give me First Peter 2:21. First Peter 2:21, real quick.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
The Most High sent his son so his son can leave an example. Nowhere in the scriptures was he practicing these pagan traditions. Nowhere in the scriptures says, when I leave, make sure you do these 3 days and keep this Palm Sunday, keep Lent, keep don't be eating no red meat on Fridays. Don't be. Nowhere in the scripture was that practice. Nowhere did Christ do these things. What did he practice? He practiced Passover.
And don't be out here having no macaroni on your Passover plate.
Yeah, no macaroni Passover. All these, everything that we do is a structure and order that we practice, right? Did you guys on the article still?
Yeah, there's some more stuff, but I wanted to get Leviticus 19:4. I wanted to get the law real quick. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 4.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 4. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods.
So that's what our people have sinned, right? We sin into where we serving different idols and making molten gods, right? It says turn ye not into idols. So that's what. Guess what? Easter is idolatry, right? It's serving another god, which we'll get into. Is Issachar. Issachar is serving another god. Give me Deuteronomy 6 and 7.
And I want to point right here, real quick, about some images. You got the number one is probably the Easter egg, but actually, and I said in Thai, I say it's an Easter egg, and it's a wooden cross. You got the wooden cross, the Easter eggs, and then you got the Easter bunny. Those are images, and they are all originate in pagan traditions. You know, go ahead.
Start at verse 6.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart.
So these words which I command thee this day is these laws, right? Genesis through Deuteronomy, right? The whole Bible pretty much, right? It should be in our heart, it be in our mind, right? And so go ahead.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So we're supposed to teach these laws diligently unto thy children. We should understand that we should understand, and they should understand that what? That we're not supposed to be having serving these other gods, right? Celebrating Easter or doing all these different things, breaking God's commandments, right? Go ahead.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
Talk with them and let them know what this is, and let them know that we're not supposed to be doing this, and understand that, a gift destroyeth the heart, right? And don't just do it for your kids. No, understand that, just because you say this is for the kids, there's way more many holidays that the Most High God has told us to celebrate. And we compare it to the 6 or 7, whatever holidays that the U.S. celebrate, right? Compare that to what the Most High told us to do. We have fallen so far off to where we just want to say that, we're just doing it for the kids. But do it for yourself. Don't lie to your kids. Why are you teaching them an evil lesson? Right? Go ahead.
Yep.
You want to finish the article?
The article.
Go down. Scroll down.
The pre-Christian ancient world is filled with stories of resurrection around spring. One of the world's oldest civilizations.
Scroll down. No, drop. Go down. Read that last paragraph right there. As a Christian,
As Christianity began to sweep across Europe, many pagan festivals and traditions were absorbed and adopted into the Christian faith. It made sense that the already ingrained concept of new life being celebrated during springtime should become associated with Jesus, conquering death and being reborn.
So you had Esau, right? Yeah, a wicked nation, right? Esau, right? And they already have their pagan traditions, right? And so we understand that they don't have a god, right? And so they already had to create themselves gods for themselves, so they can feel special, because we had the Most High God, we had the God of Israel, right? And so it said it made sense that the already ingrained concept of new life began being celebrated during springtime should become associated with Jesus conquering death and being reborn. So they tied both things together, right? And so you got to understand, like, even like with the book of Eli, right? They understood that they needed the Bible to conquer different people, right?
Yep.
And so that's what they did, right? They ingrained what they needed. They needed the Bible, and they ingrained their already traditions that they already had, and just joined them together, right? And so they put it under the disguise of Christianity, following Jesus. But of course, you really serving paganism, right? Go ahead on the article.
If you've noticed, the date of Easter changes every year, and this is because it is governed by the phases of the moon, and not a specific date on which Christ was said to have risen from the dead. It falls on the Sunday following the first full moon, after the spring equinox, making it a celebration of the seasons.
Go to the next paragraph.
What about the name Easter? Where did it come from? It is believed that in most European countries, the name came from the Hebrew word Pesach, otherwise known as Passover, the Jewish springtime holiday. However, in English-speaking languages in Germany, some historians have argued the word derives from a pagan springtime goddess called Estore, who is documented by an Anglo-Saxon monk who wrote during the 8th century AD. Estore was a goddess celebrated with a festival during the spring equinox, and according to some scholars, her association with hares is the origin of the Easter bunny story, although this is still hotly debated.
Of course, that's where it's from, right?
Yeah. And Astoria is also known as Ishtar. That's where the word comes. Ishtar. This is the fertility god, right? The fertility god. That's why they represent the bunny, right? And also known as the bunny when you use it. When they've used it before, they used the Playboy bunny. Why? Because it's used as a god of fertility, meaning they have a lot of sex. Having a lot of sex, they may create a lot of babies, right?
I had a
The video. Go ahead, put that video.
hold on. Wait. Go to that other link that I sent, and just click on that picture right there.
There you go. There it is.
Click on that picture. It says fact check: Easter's dark side. Easter, or more properly Ishtar, complete with symbolic eggs and rabbit, was in fact a pagan Babylonian Asian deity signifying fertility and sexuality. Later syncretically adopted by the Romans and formally introduced into the Christianity by Emperor Constantine.
Yeah.
So that's where Christianity come from.
There's another one. Show the other picture. Do you still have that one from the day? The Ishtar, the one with the is it the one with the statue with a bunch of breasts on it?
You probably just type in Ishtar or something in Google.
No, there wasn't. What did we type it in the other day as? We typed it in as
Diana the Ephesians.
Yeah, Diana the Ephesians. Yeah, that's right. So all these gods, man, everything has a thing to do with it. So when you have this symbolic right here, statue showing you this, guess what? It shows that it had a lot of children, right? The breast shows on there. tip it in, and you know what I mean. So this is very they always have to take something that's pagan and is popular and introduce it into Christianity, and they had to mold it because they had to cover up the real true meaning and the scripture of the Bible. They had to cover that up so they will not practice those things, because also in an article we just read too, it was talking about the Jewish holiday Passover, and it's not a Jewish holiday. So I want to correct that. It's a Jew holiday or an Israelite holiday. It's a holy day in the scriptures, found in Leviticus 23. Jewish adopted a lot of things, and even them they don't keep the Passover correctly. They eat things out of order that it's not in the scriptures, and that it's not commanded by God. You know.
Hey, officer, I think that's in their Talmud that like goes over what they eat or something like that. They have all their rules from the Talmud that they follow.
Yeah, that's the Talmud. Yeah, yeah. Show that picture of their fruit. See, I don't even know I don't even know what the heck that is. It might be lamb, but might be not. I don't know what those things. They got an egg there. You know what I mean? So they celebrate Easter. You know that's what. You know what I mean? They got egg. I don't know what all those things got a leaf. That's sad, bro. we get some good lamb. We got some good lamb, bitter herbs, and
they got a 4-leaf clover on their plate.
Oh, yeah, 4-leaf clover. Yeah. So parsley. No, that's parsley. That's what it is. I don't know. That's a whole tradition. That's a whole different tradition. That's nothing in the scripture. Nowhere in the scripture can you find that. Nowhere. You know.
Right.
Go ahead.
Did you want the scripture in Acts to show about the Ephesians? All right.
Go ahead. Show that. I'll praise this most high.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 19 and verse 24. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen.
Okay, all praises. And where's that one where it does mention that they were celebrating there in the same time Easter? It's the same book.
12 and 4.
Yeah.
Acts 12 and 4.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Acts, chapter 12 and verse 4. And when he had apprehended him.
We start at 3 because they gotta know what time of year it is and what they've been doing, right?
Verse 3. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison, and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
So it's showing you that they were celebrating Easter at this time. So this is nothing new under the sun that they've been keeping, right? And it shows in verse 3 what time of year for us, the Israelites, it was the Feast of Unleavened. So this right here is the same time as Passover, the week of unleavened, where we do not eat unleavened bread. We don't have unleavened bread in our houses, or we don't have bread with leaven in our house, or any kind of leaven.
Right. I do want to say this too, if anyone just confused or not. Just know that there's a difference between Passover and Easter, and right. Just know that Israelites, we're supposed to be keeping Passover, not keeping Easter, right? Mm-hmm. So I just want to put that out there as well. I love that video that you had.
Yeah. And they put like we'll show it. They put it in our shows and our movies. They put all these things in there, right? Go ahead.
Come here, sweet shadow. Allow me to impart some wisdom. There's far too many secret societies out there. They have no loyalty and no love. They range from barely competent to deeply dangerous.
You don't sound like one of us.
I'm not one of you.
Oh, yes, you are. You're as forgotten, as unloved, and as unremembered as any of us.
I'm doing just fine. Happy Easter. Christ has risen. Hello, boys.
Now, you were before these assholes were born. Until the day that Jesus Christ crawled out of his stink.
Hey, just to point out too, for the people to see, look at all of the different types of Christ that they have in this shot. So like they have a Christ that literally fits everybody's religion.
Yeah, yep.
The day that Jesus Christ crawled out of his stinky old grave, folks would paint eggs with dandelions and paprika for her to exchange as gifts at the first sign of spring in her name, Ostara.
They still do. They still do. On my festival days, they still feast on eggs and rabbit and candy, and they do it in my name.
Serious question, my dear. I've no doubt that millions upon millions exchange tokens and observe the rituals of your festival, all down to the hunting of the hidden eggs. But does anybody pray in your name? Do they say it in worship? Oh, they mouth your name, but they've no idea what it means. None whatsoever. Same every spring. You do all the work, he gets all the prayers.
What has gotten into you?
I feel terrible about this.
No. No.
It's her day. You took it. You crucified her day. When they started following you, everybody else got burned. In your name. Happy fucking Easter!
Come here.
Yeah, so this is they always associate it. And a lot of churches, I've seen the churches do that, like they don't use it no more, but they're still practicing. You're still trying to keep it. They're trying to say, oh no, this is not Easter. This is when we are representing Christ's coming back alive. He has risen. Yes, indeed, he has. They say stuff like that. Every origin that everything starts. They, like I said, we have to push the Christianity in there, so they try to have those things, and all these things are associated with other gods. You know, the 3 days, 3 nights, all these things, just like what we're saying, like 9 months later, what do they celebrate? Because during this time, what was this? This was an orgy that they had. They would have an orgy, and then 9 months later, when they had babies, they would sacrifice to the god of horse. Right? And what is 9 months later? So-called Christmas. So-called Christmas, right? Horus was also born on December 25th, which you can ask these scholars, the Bible scholars, you can ask them, was Christ born on December 25th? And they'll say, no, he was not. The scriptures show, and let's get that he was born during what time? He was during Passover, right? So all these things, y'all got to know why it's very important to know these things, because the Most High has designed it already and He's spoken it. And the Bible is a history of our history, but they have twisted them, right? They've taken Christ and put him in another one. That Antichrist has already showed up. They'll be trying to look for a different Christ showing up, other than this the Christ that you see in churches, the blonde hair, blue eyes. People will look. There's the Antichrist will be here. When is he coming? He's already been here. He's already destroyed the message of Christ, right? He's already destroyed the
truth.
The truth of what the scripture says, right?
And Christians already believe in him.
Yeah. You got it. Go ahead.
The Antichrist.
This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 2 and verse 41. Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days as they returned, the child Jesus tarried behind in Jerusalem.
So this is when he turned 12. That's when he was what? That's when he was born. Meaning he became 12 at that time. What? During Passover. Remember that all these so-called lies that we've been taught in our churches, you have to go back and look at the scriptures. You can't just be sitting there and thinking this great service because they got the song and dance and these things.
They're shucking and jiving.
Yeah, they're shucking and jiving. Give me that also. Give me what they're gonna be doing. Give me a picture that they did. I always, I don't go to a big mega church or whatever. I'm just a little humble thing. It's the same thing. Go ahead and push play. That's good. It's just the big hats. That's what we're gonna see tomorrow. The big hats. You know, they say wear your Sunday best, right? The bright show that. The brightest colors ever, the biggest hats, and they think, oh well, we're doing it because this is what God intended us.
Hey, get some Northern Kingdom pictures, bruh. Come on now.
The Northern Kingdom. Hey, Northern Kingdom out there too. They do it. It's their Christmas Easter. I seen it. I remember when I used to work at in a mall shoe store. They would come in there and they would just buy all the shiny shiny shoes for Easter. During this time they would be buying shoes. Why are they buying shoes? Oh, tomorrow's Easter. So then they're dressing their kids in their little white uniforms. All these things. So you see this is very important. Yeah, you got the Northern Kingdom.
Brother was finna type in Northern Kingdom like the internet.
Dang,
goes.
this is the Northern Kingdom right here. They got them out there dressing up. They always got the
look at all them bright colors.
Yeah, reenaction.
Look at all them bright colors
Yep.
and all that.
They call it pastels, right? They're pastel colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got the piñata out there on the left.
Yeah. All these things. They got the reenaction of the they have a brother out there carrying a cross for miles and stuff like it. Come on, man.
Reenacting the whole.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not scriptural. That's not scriptural. The Bible tells us how we're supposed to honor the Most High, and that's keeping His commandments. Give me Leviticus. No, you know what? Give me Hebrews 5:12. Hebrews 5:12, right quick. No. Yeah. Hebrews 5:12.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 12. Read it out. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God.
So when you think you already got it together, like, oh, I got this, I've been going to school, I've been going to church, and I've been doing these things for many years. If you're not keeping the first oracles of God, which is the commandments, you're not going to get no understanding. You're not going to understand what's going on or whatever there. Go ahead and read.
And are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat.
You trying to go in there and break down Revelations, Daniel, and these prophecies and stuff, but you're going to need the milk. The basics, things that you have never kept. I guarantee you ask these Christians, can you name a holiday in the Bible? And they're going to give you Christmas and Easter. Mm-hmm. They're going to give you these things associated with the Christian church. They're not going to give you the Feast of Unleavened. They're not going to give you Passover. They're not going to give you Feast of Dedication. They're not going to give you Pentecost. They're going to give you these things. Why? Because they have not been taught. Their pastors have not taught to them, and they have not practiced them. That's why we got to wake up and understand that how should we be pleasing God? What is our purpose here on earth? What is our purpose in these scriptures? Is this giving a little money in the collection plate so everybody can see me and continue to make it when I can to Christmas and Easter and quinceañeras? You know what I mean? That's the scriptural. See, I get on Northern Kingdom too.
That's only a little bit. Only a little bit.
he gives me a lot because I get on Judah a lot. But you know what I mean? That's my brother. I got him my brother's keeper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So all praises. Go to the how much time we got there? Give me the traditions. The traditions that I had posted up. And we're gonna do see what went there. Yeah, this is if y'all look in your papers, y'all see the ham. Not so much the deviled eggs, I guess it's, but I haven't seen those, but the ham. They'll bring the ham. And those who don't know the ham, even ham, but just in general, it don't even have to be on this day. And just in general, ham, which is pork or swine, is unclean for us. Give me that real quick. In Leviticus 11:7.
Hey, this picture just looked like something wrong with that ham.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7. Read out. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
He's unclean. We should not be eating these. We should not be eating this. It's already. So that everything has to do something with, guess what, breaking God's commandments. And I was at Fry's just the other day, and had a big old thing of, like, how they have the turkeys and stuff. They had a thing bunch of ham, and I was looking at it, I was like, and there's somebody picking a lamb. And I kind of giggled because it was other nation, but he kind of picked it up, and I was like, dang, keeping that tradition alive. You know what I mean? So it's like, but hey, we were once in that mess. So our praise to the Most High, we've repented. Go ahead and read that.
Eating ham and deviled eggs. The Easter Bunny isn't the only one with a thing for eggs. Many people throughout America sit down around a dinner table that's laden with holiday favorites like ham and deviled eggs, according to the Farmer's Almanac. Ham became a popular dinner choice years ago, largely by default, since the pigs that went to slaughter in the fall would have plenty of time to cure over those long winter months, making them ready for eating just as spring rolled around.
What that mean?
So they pretty much, when they cure it, they cure it at a certain time over the colder months. Then it has enough time to. So they had an abundance of it. So guess what? That's probably what they did, is just promoted it, right?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, read.
Similarly, deviled eggs are a popular choice because of the way eggs are used symbolically throughout the holiday as a symbol of rebirth.
Rebirth of what? Not our God. That's not talking about our God. That's not talking about our Savior, right? Go ahead.
All because you like bunnies.
And then yeah, give me not two. No, we're not gonna do two. What's the next one that I had up there? Because I think we'll probably short it. Give me what's on four? What's four and five? What's five? Yeah, do no. Jump back at 10. We got 10. There's a lot of tradition, but I wanted to get. Yeah, this is that one.
10. Eating chocolate Easter Billibies. Rabbits get a bad rep in Australia, where the cute little loppy-eared animals are considered more of a pest than a pet.
Why are they a pest? Because they like to have a lot of sex, and they have a lot of bunnies, and they tear up the ground, and they're not used for nothing. They're not good meat or nothing. Go ahead.
According to National Geographic, this is why in 1991 Rabbit Free Australia launched a campaign to replace the Easter Bunny with the Easter Bilby, a rabbit-eared bandicoot. It would appear that the change did help the rabbit's image a bit, since many companies now make chocolate billibies for Easter, according to HuffPost, with proceeds benefiting the endangered animals.
And I wanted to show these things too. A lot of times they'll tweak a tradition, and they'll change, and you're like, well, why are they doing this? You don't know, and it jumps so many times that you just become so normal, and you don't know the origin. But when you start reading and look at the origin of something, you understand that it always leads back to what a goddess or a god of the nation, right? Go ahead.
So people out here eating bilbies. It's a bunny on the the little advertisement, but they ain't even got no rabbit. So they really don't know what they're celebrating. They're not even considering.
Yeah. It's some things have changed. Go ahead and go to, I think 10 or let me see what else 10.
Right, it said one of them topics is gathering for fireworks display. I know Northern Kingdom, they always popping fireworks for any holiday.
Hey, last night on my way home, right, in Guadalupe, the Northern Kingdom town over in Mesa, all I saw was fireworks. I saw them on the way downtown and on the way home from downtown.
Yep.
But y'all ain't sleeping tonight.
Yep.
Once 12 come, I'm pretty sure they popping fireworks.
Yep. Go ahead.
19. Attending reenactments of the crucifixion. The Philippines is a mostly Catholic country, so it makes sense that its inhabitants take Easter very seriously. Each year on Good Friday, a handful of people in San Pedro Quirud are nailed to crosses to honor Jesus' crucifixion. Though the Catholic Church has frowned upon these practices, it's an annual tradition that brings in thousands of tourists.
Go read the next one. Yeah.
They're not the only ones. In Mexico, most of the most elaborate Semana Santana Holy Week Santa Holy Week celebrations include dramatic reenactments of the capture, trail, and crucifixion trial.
So Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, they call it a Holy Week, Semana Santa. They actually give a whole week off. So they come out, visit their relatives or whatever, get together, and they do all these things. Right? Go ahead.
They have reenactment plays every day. Every day they having reenactment plays, sometimes even going over like different other saints that they have too.
Yeah, they celebrate the Palm Sunday too.
Yeah,
where Christ came back and ran a donkey. They do all that stuff. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Trial and crucifixion of Jesus.
Good actors.
It's considered a great honor to take part in the productions in more devout regions such as Taxico. The reenactments including Penientes, individuals who show their penitence and prove their faith by inflicting physical pain on their bodies by whipping themselves or carrying large religious objects on their backs, according to Journey Mexico, a local travel company.
Yeah, they do. They think they want to take the suffering on. Like if he suffered, I want to suffer too. No, nobody suffered more than Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. You got to understand that he took the sin of the nation of Israel, and he was blameless, and he still took our punishment on him. You got to understand that thing. Go ahead.
20. Joining a religious procession. In Vatican City, the Pope commemorates the Way of the Cross, beginning at the Colosseum on Good Friday. People attending the procession hold candles and make their way around the amphitheater and up to Palatine Hill, stopping 14 times along the way to represent the stations of the cross. Taking place in the city where it is believed Jesus was crucified. Christians in Jerusalem, Israel, celebrate Good Friday by walking the same path Jesus did on the day he was nailed to the cross, taking note of his pain that fateful day. Some of those who participate carry a cross with them in remembrance. On Easter Sunday, many pilgrims attend a church service at Garden Tomb, the area it is believed Jesus was buried. Some regions of Mexico prefer more low-key celebrations than the ones mentioned above, like a silent procession through town or visiting 12 churches in 12 days.
Yep. Give me because I'm gonna get in the scriptures right quick, because what we are gonna see, or what we do see in the scriptures. Let's see what we do see. Give me Luke 22 and verse 1, because you can't be in a mindset of keeping Easter and keeping the traditions and stuff. A lot of times you might say, you know what, I don't celebrate that thing, I don't believe in it. But then you're over there in the cookout. You're over eating the ham and the carne asada and, the ribs and whatnot, what they're doing for Easter. Because that's what they do every year. You know what I mean?
Guilty by association.
Yeah. So, we all fell into that. We all understood that. But you got to understand that, guess what? You are celebrating. Once you put in that stuff, it's appearance of evil, and and you are keeping the traditions alive. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 22 and verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread...
The what?
The feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover.
So this is what we should be celebrating.
All right.
This is what we should be celebrating. This is what the scripture has commanded us. There is commandments, I guess. And I went here because it's talking about the New Testament, because what you got Christians saying, what you got the church is saying, oh, that's done away with. We don't do practice that anymore. That was for the Levitical priests.
Come on, man.
Y'all got to wake up and understand that they live in line to us. There is something. This is our heritage. This is something we represent. That's why you're going to see the people of God, the Israelites, wake up and keep these commandments. No other nation is going to do this. You're gonna have your 7-day Adventists. You're gonna have your Jewish. You're gonna have these Pentecostals. You're gonna have these Jehovah Witnesses doing a little bit of this and that, but nobody's gonna be keeping it all like the Israelites. Because that's what we always get, right? When we don't eat pork, oh, you Muslim? No, we ain't Muslim. The Bible commands the things. When we don't, oh, you don't celebrate Christmas? Well, you Jehovah Witness? No, we ain't Jehovah Witness. We the Israelites of the Bible. We keep all the laws, new and old.
All right.
That's why it's very important to come back into this Bible and read that. Go ahead and let's go to. Did you have another article?
Yeah, I had a couple more.
Go. Let's go into an article.
Everything you need to know about Easter in Latin America.
Mm-hmm.
Easter in Latin America is a major holiday since it's the region with the most Catholics in the world. Although I am not a Catholic, I learned to appreciate the beauty and solemnity for the Holy Week festives, Semana Santa, in Ecuador.
Hey, with this first sentence, right? We understand that it's not beautiful celebrating pagan holidays, right? But we also have to look at it in a way to where, look at how we were in the world, right? And then people are in the world still currently, right? How they celebrate these different their holy days, right? But when we celebrate our high holidays like Passover and all that, a lot of times we don't keep it like we kept Easter, right? We're not dressing up. We're not decorating our house. We're not celebrating, like seeking the Most High 10 times more, like the scriptures say, right? So we have to make sure that we come to that, making sure that we actually celebrate. When we celebrate these high holidays, make sure we decorate, carry ourselves, make sure we joyous and happy to keep God's high holy days, His commandments, right? But
brothers out there getting their fresh cut for the Passover,
Right,
we used
right.
to get a fresh cut for Easter.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It seemed to me like the whole country was shut down to renew the connection with their Catholic faith. The festivities of Easter or Holy Week.
Stop. I want to say something real quick, because notice that it says, and you got to pay attention to these, Catholic faith. It didn't say biblical faith.
Yeah.
It didn't say historical faith. It didn't say God's faith. It said Catholic faith. Meaning, guess what? Somebody and somehow in your timeline introduced you to this tradition, introduced you to this way of lifestyle, and guess what? You just accepted it and ate it. Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead.
The festivities of Easter or Holy Week, Semana Santa, in Latin America starts on Palm Sunday, Domingo de Ramos. During this week, there are religious observations that include prayer meetings, masses, processions, and other rituals.
Hey, I bet too. This whole Holy Week is very popular, right? They say they shut the whole country down, right? And so it just makes you think too. Here in America, right, when there's Easter, right, you always have more people come on that Sunday to church than any other Sunday. So I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, right? With a lot of people just doing that, with the festivities. So, of course, money is involved in a way, too. Dealing with the chocolate and the eggs and all that. But go ahead. And the ham.
Since it's a 4-day holiday, touristic attractions and resorts would benefit greatly of Easter. It's actually the last weekend of beach season in Ecuador. So visiting the ocean is a very popular thing to do during Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Catholic traditions during Holy Week. One of my favorite memories of Easter was the year when my friend from school
Go to the second paragraph.
First, we didn't eat any red meat during Semana Santa. Old wives' tales indicate that whoever eats meat would become a fish.
Where is that in the Bible where you say you eat red meat, you become a fish during Holy Week?
Give me, you getting the 1 Corinthians?
Where is that?
4 and 3.
Come on,
Because
man.
this is prophecy that the Bible is going to speak about, right?
Hey, this Northern Kingdom, right?
Yeah, yes. This is Northern Kingdom for sure.
Give me verse. Give me 4 and 1. Let's start on 4 and 1 because we gotta clear this up.
This is the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times...
When?
In the latter times.
In these last days, right? Read.
Some shall depart from the faith.
What faith? The scriptures. The law, statutes, and commandments. God's high holy days, right? Read.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
Easter is a doctrine of the devil. Though when we practice these things, these are doctrines of heaven, because no one in their right mind can go into the scripture and prove to me that Easter is a thing of God. They can't prove it. But they so wrapped up in this tradition, so wrapped up in the way of life, and just used to doing it every day, dressing up their family, dressing them up, going and thinking that, oh, we did something nice, you know what I mean? But not having the Spirit of God, right? Go.
Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
After a while, guess what? These doctrines, these things, they get seared in you.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can tell you nothing different.
Right.
You can't go back. You can't go to the scriptures. You can't learn the commandments. You're seared. You okay with this? Yeah. It's Easter. It's good. You know what I mean? Hey, pastel colors. Hey, we looking like highlighters, but we had a good day, right? Go ahead.
Forbidding to marry.
What is this? What religion is forbidding to marriage? What religion says that their priests cannot marry? And then they're what? They're trying to
Catholicism.
Trying to molest little boys and stuff, and the altar boys and stuff. That's these Catholics right here. This is something right here. Go and read.
And commanding to abstain from meats.
Abstain from meats. This is what they do. Hey, don't eat red meat. Where did they get that thing? That is a tradition. That is not biblical, right? Right. The only thing to abstain for during this time of year is on Feast of Unleavened is unleavened bread for 1 week. That's it. And no other scripture don't speak about that. Read. Go ahead.
Which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
Know what? The commandments. Keep the commandments, right? Read 4.
For every creature of God is good, and nothing to be refused, if it be received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified by the word of God and prayer.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's go back.
Regardless of the funny urban legend, it was pretty easy for me to join the meat fasting since I loved seafood.
You see that this person is not from there, right? But it's easy for them to end up joining in the festivities, right? Because guess what? A lot of people are followers, right? They can't think for themselves, right? They can't think what's true or not, right? They can't just do what not do what other people do, right? Because they feel like they're being an outcast, right? They feel like they'll separate themselves. But guess what? That's what God told us to do. We're supposed to keep God's commandments and stand on something, right? Because I know Northern Kingdom, they have way more old wives' tales, way more superstitious things. I've heard plenty of things from my wife. It's certain things, that Northern Kingdom does and has nothing to do with
what tribe your wife from?
And
she's Northern Kingdom, by the way.
Yeah.
NK. Hey, I wanted to get a point right quick before we pass on there. So he said this right here. He said, old wives' tales and indicate that whoever eats meat would become a fish, right? But so what do? They eat fish, right? And I see them, Northern Kingdom. When I go shopping at Northern Kingdom, when they're eating fish, he said what are they eating? They're eating lobster, crab, oyster, all these things. Octopus, all these things. What they call it? Siete mares.
Hey,
that's what they call it.
Hey, one of my best friends in high school was Northern Kingdom, and every Friday, he would always, because I used to give him a ride home, he would always ask me to take him to Captain D's so he can get some fish, because he couldn't eat like chicken and all that stuff on certain weekends.
Yeah, that's what it is. Give me Leviticus, because we're going to tell you all those things.
This was every week, or
now, I'm not saying you can't eat fish, but we're going to say what kind of fish you're going to eat. You know what I mean?
This was every week, or like a lot?
This was like every week, because like he was Catholic. So like, on Fridays, I think it's like Friday to Saturday, they don't eat red meat.
I never heard that.
Yeah. They don't eat for Lent. That's what they don't eat until up to Easter.
Oh yeah.
They don't eat it. So give me Leviticus 9 because you so-called Hispanics,
Negroes, you
know
blacks.
Yeah, there's a few Negroes that are Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen them. They're out there, but it's rarely. You know what I mean? Usually they got that Southern Baptist Pentecostal. You know what I mean? But go ahead, read 9.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 9. Read out. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So these things that have scales and fins, so they have to have both scales and fins. Like you got tilapia, you got salmon. Those are the things. And there's a lot more fishes that have that there. Not catfish, not oysters, lobster, crabs.
Mussels.
Mussels. You know what I mean? What is the
Start with S, right?
Scallions. You know what I mean? And what do they have those things? Olive Garden.
Not scallions.
Scallops.
No, they look. No.
Sushi. Some sushi.
I forget what it's
It
called.
started
They're
with an
sushi.
S. I don't know.
I forget what it is.
Mussels.
No.
Oysters.
No, it's a. They used to give it.
It's like in the shell.
It looks like a.
You slurp it.
It looks like a straw, like a thick straw that's cut.
Thick straw that's cut.
I forget. Anyways.
Calamari.
Calamari.
Oh yeah, calamari.
That's what it is. Calamari. I wanted to see something else. But calamari. That's what it is. Those things that have no scales and fins. They are unclean to you that are on the waters. The rivers and the waters and the seas. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that, guess what? That's what they're doing. They're still breaking God's commandments. You hating God by you think you loving God, but you ain't. Right? Go ahead.
He has something. You have something?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to make a point about the article because, can you scroll up for me real quick? Because what's the title of this article? The very top, like the name of the post from the article. It says Hispanic Mama. The one thing about the traditions that we always remember of, especially for myself, like going to Christian church or going to anything was always because either your mom, your grandmother brought you along. It was never because the father was like, hey, we're going here. It was always something that was brought up by the woman. So
always to please the mama if the father was there.
Right? I'll always love my mama.
They ain't want the wife to be mad and nothing.
Right.
So, starting on Domingo de Ramos, Palm Sunday, we attended several masses throughout the week. The Palm Sunday Mass is as important as the Domingo de Resurrección, Easter Sunday.
You just skip that. Skip that paragraph. You go. Look at the picture, man. You see Northern Kingdom, right? You have a priest riding a donkey. Go ahead, scroll down.
Jesus Christ! We love you, God!
Scroll down, keep going.
Jesus!
Just look at the pictures. You see it, right? So, you have anything else? Because that's we only got 1 hour.
I just 1 minute. Real quick. Remember, this all associated to what for Sunday? Why? Because you got the sun god Ra. You know what I mean? That we talked about it. This is an Egyptian god that continues to be something that we are worshiping. We're not even knowing it. But we're thinking that we're good with God. We're doing these things, and this is a tradition. I'm not going to change my Catholic faith. I'm not going to change my Baptist, Pentecostal, Christianity faith because this is what I've always known. I want to be a good slave, in other words. So that's all we have for the Sabbath. All praise to the Most High, Lord. Well, you have more information and more wisdom to continue on this faith. If you have questions, you can email us here. We're here in Phoenix, but you can go to israelunite.org and get information wherever you are in your local state or country. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
What club was that at?
That was admit that a lot of people don't even realize they.
I've called her. She hasn't responded. I've called her more than a few times.
But the Zulu Nation, I'm like, what the hell is this? I know nobody know what I'm talking about. You'll leave me on the island by myself. I don't know what the hell Bishop's talking about. That's what y'all do. Then after class, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I just don't want to be caught out there. The hell is this? Get on my damn nerves. So read that again, 31.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And